Recording in progress.
Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, all your royal highnesses. Good afternoon to all excellencies, and good afternoon to our honorable speakers to this wonderful event. And this is our webinar organized by the Royal Princesses of South Africa Network. Before I go any further, my name is Princess Tepi from the Royal Batokwa Nation in Southern Africa. If you want to learn more about us, go and Google Queen Mantisi and you will know we are those. Then let me also introduce, now that I have welcomed everybody, now that everyone, we can see you, our Bushabendalo, you look wonderful. And everybody is welcomed. We are going to get a chance to be introducing all of you, each one of you, just before we start speaking, right? Right about now, I would like Princess Kgaboilelwe Moroka to be the one who tells us about the purpose of today, who will also be welcoming us fully. Princess Moroka, the stage is yours, Madam.
Greetings, Princess Tepi. Thank you very much.
No, I skipped something. So before you, sorry, I'm supposed to. Let me just let you know, ladies and gentlemen, who Princess Kgaboilelwe Moroka is. Princess Kgaboilelwe Moroka of Barolong, Bosile, hails from Tabantu, Free State Province in South Africa. She's a mother of two, an activist, barrier breaker, warrior, and selfless advocate of health rights of children, youth, and women, passionate about rural development. She is the founder of the Princess Kgabo Foundation, which advocates and supports responsible, productive maternal and child health. She currently serves as a member of the Free State House of Traditional Leaders and is a leader of a delegation to the National House of Traditional Leaders from 2017 to 2022, where she serves as a member of the Executive Committee and a convener of Special Task Team on Invest Rural. She's one of the founding members of South African Royal Princess Network, serves as the SADC Regional Coordinator for Elite Africa, an organization for young African leaders, a member and a president for SADC region for the Africa Union of Developmental NGOs. She is a member of SAWIT, South African Women in Dialogue. She is a recipient of the following international awards. 1, Unashamedly Ethical Award of Appreciation for her impact in society to stand up for ethics, values, and clean living. The Warrior Changemaker Award by AgroBiz USA, received in 2019 during the 63rd UN session on the status of women in New York. Third one, Black History Achievement Award by Kojic Church of God in Christ, USA 2019. She is a recipient of the Vice Rector Award from the University of Free State for Excellence and Outstanding Commitment in Community Engagement 2016. She is a 2017 Mandela Washington Fellowship alumni from Indiana University, USA, a flagship program for young African leaders, a prestigious presidential program that was initiated by the former President of America, President Barack Obama. She is Reimagine South Africa activator and an international speaker. She's a former civil servant with over a decade of experience in public administration of both a provincial and local government. She aspires, this is now Princess Kgabo Moroka, aspires to become an influential global leader and agripreneur. For further details, we will put it in the chat area. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome on the stage Princess Kgaboilelwe Moroka. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Princess Tepi, for such a warm introduction. In the words of Utata Nelson Mandela, I quote, "There can be no keener revelation of a society's soul than the way in which it treats its children." Your Majesty, esteemed guests, and most importantly, our very important and special panelists, as well as all children joining us this evening, the South African Royal Princess Network extends warm greetings to you all. Royal Highnesses from across the length and breadth of South Africa have come together to form this network, which seeks to bring positive change and development both within our respective communities and the global village. Though the South African Royal Princesses Network is yet to be officially launched, princesses have started with the work, in particular taking a firm stand and taking action in the fight against gender-based violence. Therefore, as part of a series of GBV advocacy webinars planned by the network, this Mandela Month, in honor of Utata Nelson Mandela's legacy, we chose to bring the children to the table because it is very important to create space for them around the table as an equal partner in the fight against gender-based violence. We say nothing about them without them. We know that violence takes it takes many forms. There's physical violence, sexual, economic, and psychological. And all these factors represent violation of human dignity, human rights, and above all, they have lifelong consequences. We also know that Utata was very passionate about children, and it is befitting to host this conversation in his honor. Children are unfortunately amongst the most affected groups when it comes to gender-based violence. This is a population group that finds itself exposed and vulnerable, just as women in the LGBTIQ plus community. With COVID-19 taking its toll, they are at an increased rate of abuse, considering the fact that besides the pandemic we also have lingering challenges within our society, such as unemployment, poverty, substance abuse, and a general decay of our moral fiber. Yet we speak about all these agendas. We speak about the Sustainable Development Goals. We speak about Agenda 2063, for instance, and so forth, which all exist because of the quest of building a better future for all. A future which will be led by the very children and future generations. Therefore, we cannot afford to leave them out or leave them behind. They all have a right to an equal, dignified, hopeful, and safe future. Without any waste of time, as I hand back to our lovely moderator, Princess Tshepi, I must admit, one has truly been looking forward to this conversation. And we are truly honored to have you all join us this evening from all corners of the globe. We welcome you all. I'd like to end with another one of my favorite quotes from Utata Nelson Mandela. And this is a message I wish we could embed within us or within ourselves. Open quote, "Our children are our greatest treasure. They are our future. Those who abuse them tear at the fabric of our society and weaken our nation." Close quote. I thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Princess Khabu. Such a wonderful, warm welcome. We all now know why we are here. We all now know who are the organizers, who are the conveners, who has invited all of us. So I would like to say to those that have just joined us, a warm welcome to you. May I also request Galaxy Note 5, if you are able to just give me your name, I'll be able to change your label. May we all change our labels so that I will be able to identify you when maybe you want to comment and be able to call your name properly. And then so that we can also be able to know all our panelists that are here. And we may not think that a person is not here, meanwhile they are here. Please let us just change the labeling. If you are unable to do that, I am Princess Tepi on the chat, just send it to me and I'll be able to help you. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let us move further in the field on this wonderful day. You are so correct, Princess Khabu. We have been so looking forward to this day. I'm excited, so excited, because this is a very, very unique day. This is a very unique event, really, where we get to be hosting the children. It's not so always. We get to all 12 months be in these virtual conferences where it is only adults, and today really it is an honor. So I will be now introducing our panelists, and before they all come on and participate, we are going to have a keynote speech from our keynote speaker. And ladies and gentlemen, allow me to present to you Buhlebendalo Azile Maqashu. She was born on the 16th of February 2009. You know, for my age, it seems like I could never have spoken to a child of 2009, and here we are. That is why I said it's such an honor. She is the second born amongst 5 children, 2 sisters and 1 boy. She's currently doing grade 8 at Makaula Secondary School in Mount Frere, Guabata, and Eastern Cape. At the lowest and primary grade I've done when the Kids Zone Educare, I don't know, at Educare and Vela Primary School. She participated in the spelling bees and debated and participated in a number of debates in her school. She achieved the top 3 in English, African, Social Science, and Maths. Her hobbies are netball and volleyball. Ladies and gentlemen, help me to welcome on stage Buhlebendalo Maqashu. Our keynote speaker, please take up the stage.
Good evening to you all. It's a pleasure to meet you all. I'm very excited for this debate and meeting, and I would really like to thank Princess Tepi for recognizing me. Hello, Princess Tepi.
You may take up with your speech, ma'am, and then all others will introduce them after you. So you can already start with your speech.
Okay, ma'am, thank you. Greetings to you all. Standing before you is Buhlebendalo Maqashu, as I was introduced, but this is for the people who don't know me. I will be a keynote speaker for the day and introducing the topic of gender-based violence. First of all, what is gender-based violence? Gender-based violence involves acts of violence committed against women, men, boys, and girls as a result of social norms about roles and behavior expected of each gender. Gender-based violence is a profound and widespread problem in South Africa. Types of gender-based violences are child abuse, child trafficking, and child pornography. It affects everybody, not only sexually, but physically, emotionally, financially, and structurally. In South Africa, most acts of GBV cases are committed by men against women and women against men. South Africa is notorious for its high levels of gender-based violence. The South African Police Services stats for reported cases in GBV in 2019 to 2020 are 42,289, and for sexual assaults are 7,749. Some of the examples of gender-based violences are hard labor and slavery. Take the evidence of this is the story of Seven Angels Church in Eastern Cape, Ngobo. The women and children that lived in the compound were brutally punished and whipped over their freedom. This abuse was normally focused on women and children. The reasons of gender-based violence generally could be stress, poverty, self-isolation, unemployment, and lost income. In addition to that case that involves child abduction, rape, and murder, was the story of Uyinene Mrwetyana, a first-year student in University of Cape Town, where she was brutally abducted, raped, and murdered by Luyanda Botha. To see that the government is trying to do something, he was sentenced to 2 to 3 life sentences in prison. On top of that, Pastor Gushiri, a well-known pastor, took advantage of poor families and raped young girls because of the background they came from. He was arrested and later on was granted bail and now is in Malawi attending his trials. Over that, a recent incident of which a 60-year-old grandmother, of which exposed her 15-year-old granddaughter to child trafficking and child forced marriages to a 60-year-old pastor. Just imagine at the age that you were in, just being introduced to marriage, not being able to sit with your age group, with a pastor who's 60 years old and is involving you in marriage. It's just hurtful. It's a painful experience to recover from. Police Commissioner Bheki has once mentioned in his speech that during lockdown, that the cases of reported GBV cases has increased by 30% during the first weeks of COVID-19 pandemic. The effect of gender-based violence is broken families that result to unsafe homes, depression that leads to mental illnesses, committing suicide and loss of self-confidence. And the effects of gender-based violence, the reasons of gender-based violence during the COVID-19 pandemic was drug abuse, alcohol abuse, and self-loss eventually, and not being able to provide for your family as you were known as the breadwinner, and unemployment. I appreciate that in all, I appreciate the government is sentencing the perpetrators and assisting the victims with help centers and toll-free numbers, but it is not enough. I humbly plead with the government to look in the remote farms because the child labor there is brutal and they are shut out of the world to report because they are not recognized in the systems, have no birth certificates, basically are not receiving any government services. I asked the government to have free built-in emergency call centers that report directly to police services. And I may add to that police services have to have some sort of psychological training, because other reasons people may not go to report their cases is the embarrassment of being laughed at, especially men. In conclusion, may I ask and request that every day be a Women's Day, not just on the Women's Day month, but every day, and to be dedicated to the protection of the rights of women and children. I thank you all.
Every day to be about women's rights, every day to be the day that we protect women. From its rising to sunset, that is what I'm hearing you. I heard you, and that is what I'm taking with. Thank you so much to our keynote. Thank you, Buhlebendalo. So well put, straight to the point. So we will now be introducing all other panelists. If we can have your cameras on, all our panelists, our speakers, those that are on the poster, and we are going to be interacting. The format is going to be as such. We will just be having a conversation, and from your speech, we will just be taking up some other questions and asking how others are viewing their what you have proposed, what you are saying, all the challenges that you are facing. We'll be hearing from all regions. We have USA, we have Pakistan, we have Nigeria. I'm hoping that Nigeria is in. If not, it is okay. And we have South Africa as well. So we will be speaking, and I just want to, can we have the videos on of our panelists? I wish there was a way I can put them all on the center stage. While we are organizing all the videos for our panelists, I hope they hear me. I hope they are still here. Jessica,
if they could raise their hand, if the panelists could raise their hands, I can highlight them.
Yes.
Panelists could raise their hands.
Can we have just the panelists to have their videos on, please? Fatima?
Yes.
Thank you very much, Buhlebendalo. Fatima?
Yes. Good evening.
Let's have your video so that at least we can.
My video is on.
There we go. There we go. Thank you very much. And please introduce yourself, just briefly, who you are, where you're from, the grade.
Good evening to everyone. My name is Fatma Zahir, and I'm from Pakistan. Currently, I'm in first year of O-levels, and I'm just promoted to the next year, and I'm honored to be here with everyone tonight.
Thank you very much. Thank you. You're welcome. And we are honored to have you. Can we have Justice McBride? Justice, please introduce yourself. Tell us more, a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Justice McBride. I like to go outside, we go biking and play some sports. And like,
what grade are you in, Justice?
I'm in 9th grade.
9th grade, and the age?
I am 14.
And where in the US are you? I am in South Africa. I would like to know more. We would like to know more about you. Whereabouts in the US are you?
California.
Right. Anything interesting that you'd like us to know about you?
I like to play sports and go bike riding.
Right. Thank you very much, Justice. Do we have Ntlhalontle Tshotesi? Princess Moroka, if you will help me, where I'm calling a person, if they are not there, maybe you can just do the hovering before. And then Uri Arabeti Motsabi.
Good afternoon, elders. My name is Uri Arabeti Mutabi. I am 12 years old in grade 6, born 29th of May, 2009. I like cooking, I like drawing, and I also like taking pictures of myself. It makes me feel more self-assured.
Yay, you are my girl. I love selfies too. You and I, we are on the same WhatsApp group. I love selfies. Shall we hear from Businkosi? Thank you very much, Uri Arabeti. Businkosi, are you here?
Yes.
There we go.
A very good day to everyone. My name is Dintle Busisi Wenkosi. I am 13 years old and I am from Gauteng in South Africa. I am currently a grade 8 student at General Smuts, which is located in Vereeniging. I may describe myself as a kind, loving, and social parent. as a social person, and my hobbies include cooking and playing netball. Thank you.
Great, great. Thank you so much, Lucy. Thank you so much. Shall we hear from Jessica?
Yes. Hi. Good evening, everyone. My name is Jessica Shahid Elisha. I was born in Nigeria and raised in South Africa. I go to Unisi High School. I'm 14 years old and I'm in 9th grade. I like writing, spending time with my family, biking as well. I also riding my bicycle sometimes. And yeah, I enjoy being with people. So COVID really hit me hard.
Thank you so much. You're not alone with the COVID and locking us down, but what can we do? This is just going to be for temporarily. So let us just adhere to that. I enjoy people too. One thing that perhaps I would like to learn from you is riding a bicycle. I failed in my earlier years, and even when I tried earlier on in my elderly years, I still could not get it right. So you have got a strength there that is a weakness to me. Thank you so much, Jessica. Ladies and gentlemen, before I go on, so I would like to have you all, now that we can see you all with technology, we will help to have on the center stage. And that when we call, when we now going to have just our leisure chat. You do know that it is just you and I, right? Right? Do the thumbs up if you agree. You know, it's just you and I. We are just going to have conversations. No nervous, we just ask and be as natural as possible. We just want to hear you speak. And before we go any further, allow us, ladies and gentlemen, to recognize the presence of Nkosikazi Mhlauli, the acting chairperson of the National House of Traditional Leaders, and also our Princess of Africa, Mme Yvonne Chaka Chaka. Yay, thank you so much. Thank you so much as for your presence. So let us go on, ladies and gentlemen, with my panelists, my lovely, beloved panelists. We have heard the speech, right? Jessica, you heard the speech from our keynote, am I right? Jessica? Jessica?
Yes.
You have heard the speech from our keynote speaker, correct?
Yes, I have.
You have. So from your own understanding, I know you said you are born, I love that. You are the rainbow child indeed, born in Nigeria and raised in South Africa, correct?
Yes.
From what our Buhle has already said, the request that she has put on the table, which we have noted as the adults, in your own view, what do you think we are lacking as adults when it comes to this topic of gender-based violence?
I think maybe like support. I mean, like when someone experiences gender-based violence, I think the thing a lot of people go through is they keep quiet if they see someone or if they experience it, and they don't really know how to like come out and defend themselves. So I think maybe like support would help a lot of people.
Support will help a lot of people. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Fatima? 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 Yes. In your own environment, Fatima, when it comes to gender-based violence, what is your understanding? We are talking now, perhaps, as Buhle has said, he spoke in the context of South Africa, and you are in Pakistan. Tell us, what is your understanding? What perhaps is the experience that you've seen when it comes to, in terms of gender-based violence over in Punjab?
In Pakistan, I think there's a really high ratio of gender-based violence cases, that people are not authorized properly, or the government is not taking like important steps, and they are not noticing the high rate and the structure of gender-based violence cases. And nowadays, like in the past week, there are like an increased ratio of these cases. And because of that, many children are like distressed and no one feels safe like going out, and they like feel traumatized, which is, I think so, a very, very big problem and that needs to be solved. But right now, I think Pakistan is not in a very good situation related to gender-based violence, and we really need to improve in that.
Are you still there?
Yes, Fatima, you have to unmute yourself, please.
Oh, yes.
Thank you.
I think that is the current situation of Pakistan that pretty much explains it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Fatima. Justice. Justice?
Yes.
Right, thank you so much. In your own view, do you think these conversations around gender-based violence, they take place among your peers? Do you experience this? Do you have these conversations?
Yes, we have these conversations a lot at school or in public.
Tell us the example. Do you have perhaps your youth groups, teenage groups? How do they take place most of the time, these conversations?
Yes, there's a small group of people talking about these, like we should all be equal and not be judging each other by gender, but equality.
All right, I see. You said you are from California.
Yes.
In your environment, how can you tell us what is the rate of gender-based violence?
I'll say 8 out of 10.
It happens a lot? Is it something that the community struggles a lot with?
Yes.
Do we see? Right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Arabetwe, are you here, my darling?
Yes, ma'am, I am present.
You are here. The selfie girl, you are my friend. The selfie girl. Tell us, I don't know if you have ever heard that there are some cultural practices where we find that the young girls are being mistreated. There are early childhood marriages. What do you think we can do as the traditional community, as the princesses and the chiefs and the kings and queens? What do you think can be done?
There is indeed a lot that can be done, but I would suggest starting by accepting them and believing them when they come crying for help and not forcing them back into something they're trying to escape from.
Wow, thank you. That is powerful. That is powerful. Embracing a child as the child, right? And don't say, chula ungaikhulu uskaibua, didimala. Thank you so much. Thank you. Shall we hear from Busi? Busi?
Yes.
Child pornography. Have you heard of that term, my dear?
Yes, I actually have.
What do you understand? And what do you, how do you think we can help to try and curb the scourge of child pornography?
According to my knowledge of understanding abuse, child pornography is a force that is an act that forces children to participate in sexual activities.
Right. And then what do you think we can do, yes, to eliminate such behavior, because it is mostly really, I think mostly by adults to children, correct?
Yes, it's the maltreatment of a child by an adult.
Right. How can we help as adults to eliminate that?
There are a lot of ways to help a child, but then you need to first find safety and then seek medical help, such as seeing a counselor for mental treatment.
Right, right. You are touching on a very important one now when we talk about mental health, which we are going to deal with it even as the Princesses Network. Thank you very much for that insight. Buhle, we are back with you. Buhle Bendal.
Yes, Princess.
Buhle?
Yes.
Yes. There is a practice in KZN where I come from, and mostly in Eastern Cape as well, of Ugutwala, the abduction of young girls into marriages. Have you heard of such?
Yes, ma'am, I've heard of such. I really have heard of such, and it's brutal what's happening there. To force a child into marriage, it's very, very wrong and hurtful.
What do you think are the effects? What do you think now that when you have seen such a girl and then either she gets helped or sometimes she goes along and she stays in such a relationship? What are the effects? How does it affect these young girls?
I think it just affects them with low self-esteem and stress and depression, self-isolation and mental illness. Because like having the issue in your brain that you were married at a young age, that you were in like peers of mine, age groups, and being married to an old man, what is that? I'm really not happy about this. I'm really, really not. I don't know what made it to be an upcoming post, but I really don't like it. This uprising is very wrong and it's very brutal. It's very, very wrong. Because you're snatching the child's freedom away.
Yes, yes, yes. I like that passion. Speak to our traditional leaders. You heard her introduce the princesses. You know that we are here. Speak to us. Be honest and open your heart. That is why we wanted you here. Speak to us. How do we help? What do you want us to do? What must we do? What is it that we are not doing?
I think, ma'am, that as Jessica has said, that people are ignoring the fact that when children just come and seek for help, it is ignored. There was this story that was linked in the rural areas where the child has reported something and she was raped by her father at a young age when her father just left, the mother just left. So what I noticed is that when she was reporting this, it was denied, and the mother and the father denied her and were like, no, this is wrong. She's not controlled. She doesn't have behavior. She is disrespectful. This is just all a lie. So imagine you as a child, the mother who's not believing you to like when you're expressing yourself and the experience that you have to go to. It's very brutal having your own mother, the person that you grew up in and wombed out of, and not giving you that kind of attention. It's very wrong. And I would like you princesses to just like help us build support groups and help us understand, and just it's very wrong that we have to look upon ourselves and doubt ourselves, because as you know, in South Africa we have these things called virgin ceremonies, of where we just let our whole body show, even our boobs, everything just show, and we are covered by skirts. Now other children won't have that kind of experience because their virginity was just snapped away. So I would really ask for y'all to like help me raise community awareness and just help them just grow strong and like just get out of the bubble, the insecure bubble they're in, and just step up into the light and express themselves and just take out all they have inside and just open up. Because the main reason that they are not opening up is because they're scared of the embarrassment and the judgment people will have around them, and how people will be uncomfortable around them and will be staring at them because like, no, you're wrong. You're not a virgin anymore. Your virgin is just not there anymore. And it's very wrong. It's very brutal to just talk to someone like that. I have experienced such case where people doubted my virginity, and I was like, what do you know? How do you know? Have you ever heard me saying that I'm not a virgin or what? So basically that topic was just remained about lies. So I really ask you guys to just please help me communicate with people, because I really want to communicate with them. It really hurts what is happening here. And it's really brutal. And I can't imagine this happening to me. It is very, I'm sorry.
It is well. Oh, sorry. Right. There you are. To all our adults, the children have spoken, have evoked emotions, and correctly so. What is it that we are doing wrong? What kind of society are we becoming, or are we? South Africa, let us heed to these voices. The purpose of today, as Princess Khabu has said, is to give a voice to these children. And we are hearing that voice in its truthfulness, in its honesty, in its pureness. Let us change. Let us take up this responsibility, all of us, not just to leave it to the Princess Network. That is why we are here. Let us create a space to hear the children, not to speak about them without them. They are now here at the seat and they are saying, we are crying. We are mothers, even as princesses. We've got our mothers, onkosigas, ondlunkulu. How are we protecting our young girls? How our fathers, we were created so that we can take responsibility, both of us. It's not just on one side of the gender. All of us, we are to take responsibility in bringing up these children, in protecting the women. When she says so, she really has evoked emotions in all of us. I wanted to bring Jessica. Thank you so much, Bushle. And I know that we are not just bringing here to only entertain. We are not. We are here so that we can take these recommendations. We're taking your voices, as you have said, without us talking on your behalf. Certainly, you have made your mark. Your voice have been heard, because that was the purpose of today. Jessica, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Whew. Right. It's getting where we really wanted it to be. And also be as honest, be as pure as you are. We have government around us. We have offices. She has spoken about creating the support groups.
I can't hear. Your mic is off.
The host. We have mothers that get in our families. Bushle has said so. When the mother has been uprooted from the family because of what she has been experiencing, there are children that are affected. There's a whole community, because as mothers, we are always connected. We speak, we see also what what happens. And sometimes we get called bomam gopos, we like getting into other people's businesses. What do you think are the effects when you see the children where there is gender-based violence in the families? Have you seen such, and what do you think can be done to help minimize those, if anything, eliminate such, so that children can enjoy being children, mothers can enjoy being mothers? What can be done by all society groups, government, ourselves as traditional leaders, civil society, everybody? Give it to us and tell us what can we do to eliminate that, so that our mothers are not brutalized, as Bushle has said.
Yeah, well, I personally think still that like bringing support and for a community coming together, like she rightly said, to create support groups, and it would really help for them to like have that support and that and children get affected by gender-based violence, especially when their parents experience it. Yeah, it really affects them psychologically and emotionally, because they don't know how to think, and they won't take it, like they won't be themselves anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think about bullying among your peers?
Well, I personally have experienced bullying, and I really think people they just don't have anything else to do with their time, so they just look for someone and they bully them.
How did you receive the help?
Well, I got support from friends and of course my family. But yeah, bullying, I've learned that bullying really just, people have their own insecurities that they're going through, and when they come to school, they see you and they just kind of see it as a sort of distraction, just to like get themselves away and stuff. Because I've heard like a lot of kids being bullied, and like I said, I've experienced it myself. It's really, if you really get to like know the bullies, it's just because they're going through a lot of stuff. So
Yeah. I hope you have healed, and I hope you will be able to deal with it and really put it behind you as you grow to be a phenomenal woman that you are, right? Thank you so much for that insight. Justice.
Pleasure.
We are now crossing across the Atlantic. Justice.
Yes.
Do you agree that boys also experience gender-based violence?
Yes, all genders.
Give us examples, dear sir.
They will judge us by our looks, our personality, and our gender. When people don't really care about it and matter about it. Well, some people don't care about it and matter about it.
How would you help a young boy who has experienced this type of violence?
By helping them stand up and not be pushed by that.
To be assertive. And then what do you wish community can do to protect you guys, young men, young boys? What are the measures that can be put? Yeah, what are the programs that can be put to protect you against gender-based violence?
The NWACP, by protesting.
Protesting, right.
By protesting, like going to the streets.
Right. Thank you so much. This is Justice, and then who else? Did I speak to Busi just now? It was Jessica. Busi?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you there, Busi? I want to see you, girl. Do you think the awareness workshops at your schools are enough, if they are at all happening? Awareness on gender-based violence workshops, or whatever that can be done at the schools level.
Currently at our school, children do not have a platform to express their views and opinions. So currently, I wouldn't say there is something that, well, at a school, if you are being bullied or something, they're just gonna tell you, talk to your teacher, then that bully will get somehow expelled or something. Yeah.
Thank you so much. So I want to take a round of just 3 minutes, a message on the solutions to be able to deal with this gender-based violence. Each one of you, I just want you to give me 3 minutes of solutions, suggestions, solutions, what can be done. Do not hold back. I'm giving you permission. You are protected. And remember, it's just you and I, right? And we will be able to take these messages. Of course, we are recorded, yes. So give us all round. So we're gonna start right at the top with Bushle, the solutions. that can be applied?
Yeah, ma'am. I think that solutions that can be applied is like close monitoring groups, like to go to remote farms and remote areas, because like child labor there is just very wrong and brutal, and they are raped and they just inherit that. So they live at it as if it's the right way of living. That's no, this is how we are, because they are just unrecognized in the world. So I think that a solution is to raise awareness of gender-based violence. And I heard that Justice said that protesting might be the better way to make them stop gender-based violence, but it won't. It will end badly. I suggest like something like a march dedicated to women and children and men who have been abused through the gender-based violence, like a march saying that we hear them and we are standing with them, and we are with them through the whole situation. Yes, though we haven't experienced the situation, but as we are hearing it and emotionally connecting with it, you might just see in your head that it just rings wrong, that at a young age or at a certain age, growing through that and just keeping that in your brain and your mind. Basically, other people may say that I'd rather be raped and murdered than just raped and just left alone, because having to live with that conscience that I was raped and people saying that it will be better, it will get better. How will it get better? Because I really just don't understand how you could deprive me of my youth and virginity and just leave me like that and leave me with the horror, the trauma, and then just when you're trying to get help and just try to seek out for help, no one's there. I understand that we are going through a hard time of COVID-19, but then people shouldn't shut out the fact that we are going through gender-based violence too. Because basically, ever since the COVID-19 uprising, gender-based violence has also uprised. And just imagine that Peggy Cele has said that 30% of the first weeks of lockdown, gender-based violence has increased. So I really suggest the march of dedicating and honoring those people who were brutally raped and murdered through those situations that they went through. And I understand that this is just all from the child slavery, because that history itself ascertains men to the point that they must just experience their masculinity in the utmost and unhealthy way. So I think that a march would just be a better start, and just hear out suggestions from the other participants that we should try to do this and try to raise awareness, because it's very, very, very hurtful. And I know I have said that many times, but then it just doesn't sit well with me knowing that other children experience this, that this is happening in them. And I won't sit a bystander and just let our country crumble. I just can't. I stand so confidently before you because I am motivated, and I have seen the cases that are just brought aside, that were just left alone because there was no evidence or what. So I am here confidently, and I am addressing them that what they're doing is wrong. It is barbaric, first of all. You are not a human being if you are raping. And how wearing a short dress just give predators the right to expose us to child trafficking and child prostitution. So I really suggest with the march firstly, and then other suggestions I may list, and harsher sentences. I really want harsher sentences for those people, because those perpetrators were wrong to deprive the youth of what they are. I really want harsher sentences, because the person just gets in and gets out and he's free. 3 years and gets out. I think it should be life terms, and I think it should be maximum punishment. I thank you.
Great. Uhle for president, it must be maximum. Right. Re arabetwi.
Greetings again, elders and participants. I'd just like to say we should start by accepting the people that come running for help, and we shouldn't take it as disrespect. Second of all, we shouldn't make fun of our friends, and we shouldn't bully them. because of our belief that they haven't been sexually abused or mentally abused. And I'd also like to say we should stop complaining about stolen iPads. As Buhle has said, 30% of our cases of GBV have risen. And I believe that we should welcome them, and support groups would help because most of them don't have that comfort place or a pillow to fall on. And also, I'd like to say, the people that are on here that have experienced gender-based violence, you are not alone, you are heard, and we will try to fix this even though it has gotten far out of hand. Thank you.
My goodness, you touch my heart. You touch my heart. You are not alone. This will be fixed. This indeed has to change. Tell me, do you feel safe, my baby girl, in your environment?
I honestly do not, because at the age of 12, I shouldn't be trying to educate young boys and people about GBV when the parents fail to do so. I do not believe that that is my responsibility. So if parents already fail to educate their children won't know what's right from wrong. So I do not feel safe.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Thank you so much. It is not your responsibility to protect yourself. You are a child and we want you to remain a child. Thank you so much. Thank you, Riarabetwi. Fatima? Fatima?
Yes. I have a few suggestions, but like the main one I think that is working nowadays is that we should reach out for people who are like brutally murdered or raped by social media, because like in a situation of COVID-19 when we are bound to our houses, like social media have helped so much. Like for example, in the case of Palestine, we were able to reach people by social media and spread the word. And that is like the most important thing, to spread awareness, to let people know that yes, GBV is actually happening and children are violated, their childhood is being destroyed by people who tend to say that it is based on their clothing or the way they are, but it is entirely their problem and responsibility about what they do to young children. And I think so we should use social media to spread the word, because like how the amount of number the people will know about GBV, there are chances that it could be improved. It could be lessened by the number it is now. And by this, I think so we could like help the people who are the victims or who are facing this. And we could also like save the people who are like in rural areas, and there's actually really important to reach them, because I think so because of low opportunities or less resources, they are not able to tell what they are facing. So I think so we should reach out to the marginalized areas and help them, because they really need our help, and we should lessen the number of these cases and intimidate incidents. I think
Great.
so, yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Fatima from Pakistan. I would like to open the floor. I think we have spoken, Gusi, we have spoken to Rabbit, we have spoken to Buhle, we have heard you. Justice, we have heard you. Jessica, we have heard you. Or from the floor, do we have children? Can the children raise their hands? We just want interaction from the floor now, from, when I say floor, all attendees. Can the children raise their hands? We are now having Vanessa from Nigeria also joining us. The children that are in here, the children, do we have children?
Princess Tepi, can I come in?
Yes, please.
In our we have Chantel Mukherjee and Unelihle. Their videos have been on and they are children.
Okay, thank you so
Perhaps
much, Princess Khab. Thank you so much. Unelihle? Unelihle?
Yes, ma'am. It's Kanya.
Unelihle? Oh, Kaya. Princess Morocco, you're talking about Kaya. Okay.
Okay, it appears as Unelihle, so
That's
it
fine.
might be, yeah.
Okay, that's fine. This is our Miss Boxberg. This is our Miss Boxberg here, the beauty pageant, who also has been a survivor of gender-based violence. And also what the question that I would like to you, Kaya, that I want to pose to you is, what do you think is the role of government in helping us to deal with this gender-based violence, if anything, to eliminate it?
The role of government.
What do you think government should do to help you young girls to feel protected, to feel that, you know, there is punishment for the perpetrators?
Firstly, I think it's not only about us young girls, but also young boys. Because gender-based violence is not only about us women, but also boys. I would like the government to support equality. Because as a woman, going to the police station, telling them my story about how I'm abused, how I'm brutally abused, emotionally, physically, and mentally, they will help me because I'm a female. But what about the men? Why should they laugh at them? So I would like the government to step up and fight for equality. And I would also like the community and human beings to fight for equality. Thank you.
That's brilliant. Wonderful entrance.
Princess Seppi, please unmute yourself.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Can I request all adults to please mute yourself? Vanessa, are you in? If not, Chantal. Chantal? Chantal Mukherjee.
Yes, ma'am.
Yay! You are so pretty. How are
Thank
you?
you. I'm great, thanks, and you?
Great, great. What do you think government should do to help? What responsibility should government do? And yes, speak to us.
Well, personally, I think that the government should not only help us with gender-based violence, as in they should open more resources for us to use. And they should also be at least something else that can help us reach out to the government and tell them about gender-based violence that is happening right here in South Africa.
Well said, well put. They are listening. Do you know that? They are listening. We are listening. And then the next question is this: do you think our mothers are protected in our own homes? Do you think our mothers are safe?
No, not really. The reason why I say that is, personally, I think that some mothers that are not married are not very safe because they don't know where the other men come from. They don't know the background. So that's why I think they're not safe.
Wow, wow. Do we have any other child who can? Any other child? Who away? Is it a child? Vanessa, are you in? Katleho? Katleho?
Hi, Altabi.
Yay, Katleho, how are you?
I'm good, and you?
I'm all right, thank you. Do you feel safe? Is it Katleho Motlong?
Yes.
Hey, this is my daughter now. You have grown. Do you feel safe, my Baba?
It's definitely going back to the fact of talking about this, as gender-based violence is supposed to be a very minimalized conversation between two people. It goes to say that not many people talk about it, so it's hard to really see how much effect this does take on certain people. Because if you don't know how many people go through this, it's hard to say, you know what, I'm safe, I can take chances. But as soon as you know that more and more people go through this, it's definitely eye-opening, and it can definitely help you see the severity of the situation.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, man. You look so pretty. I must say so, right? So Vanessa, I'm trying to see if you are in. Vanessa from Nigeria. Vanessa is one of our panelists. So I know that she had said she was gonna. Vanessa, are you in? All right. While we are waiting for Vanessa to log in, any other child? iPhone, are you a child? Do we have another child? I've got a question for you. Any other child? Princess Mahlangu? Welcome, Your Highness. Any other child? Do we think to our mothers? Princess Morocco, Princess Stella, do you think mothers speak about this experience when you know, as the child has already said that it gets minimized, they get told hush hush, don't bring shame to the family, don't go loud, don't speak about it. So do you think mothers are really loud about this issue when they experience it in their homes?
Thanks, Princess Tsepi. I think mothers could do more when it comes to the issues of gender-based violence and in relations to children. Let's look at the issues of, let's say, traditional areas, whereby some people may find it uncomfortable to speak because the perpetrator is part of the family, is part of the community, is part of the traditional setup. So basically, we must encourage mothers to speak more when it comes to gender-based violence. But that doesn't mean that mothers are not speaking, but they should speak more. This is serious. And then in the villages or in the rural areas, there are also issues of child trafficking, which is sort of a new concept when it comes to the traditional setup. Because in rural areas, it's very rare that children can just disappear. But now sometimes they disappear to be trafficked elsewhere. So mothers should speak more on those areas. They should know where their mothers are. And then in the community setup, someone must know where the child is, because that is a communal setup. So to answer your questions, I believe that mothers should speak more and not feel confined to issues of a cultural setup. And also, when it comes to issues of ukutwala, for instance, ukutwala is an old age tradition, custom. It was never meant to rape children. It was never meant to abuse children. It was never meant to abuse women. However, it has been hijacked by the criminal elements of rape, trafficking, and kidnapping. And also, when it comes to those old age traditions or customs, we have to ask ourselves, are they still relevant? Are they contributing to gender-based violence? So if the answer is yes, then let's do away with those kind of customs, whether it's ukutwala or ungena, any of the customs that no longer serve a purpose, that contribute to gender-based violence. But I think mothers should speak more, also fathers as well, not just mothers. And also one of the participants or panelists mentioned something about gender-based violence, not only about abuse of girls. We must also look at gender-based violence in its entirety. Abuse of women, abuse of men, abuse of girls, abuse of boys as well. So I think there's more to this, and we need to engage more on the issues of gender-based violence in relations to everything. Thanks, Princess Tepi.
Thank you so much. So well put. So well put. I'm now, my panelists are still thank you. So I'm now just opening up so that your voices have been heard, and then so that we can also showcase that our elders are here, they've heard you, and let us hear from them. Me Khosikgadi Moroka. Me Mfumadi Moroka, Me Khosikgadi Moroka, are you here, ma?
Yes, I'm here, ma'am.
Yes,
Princess.
how are you, ma'am? How are you here?
I'm
How are you,
okay.
ma'am?
I'm okay, and how are you?
I am well. It is such an honor to have you. Now we are going to be hearing the values and where did we go wrong. When you look at the society, we are the young ones. We take the baton from you. We take the lessons from you. Where did we go wrong that we find ourselves in this dilemma? Please, ma'am.
First of all, let me greet you all. What I want to say is that we as the elderly, we used to respect our male counterparts a great deal. We were not open even to abuse. The elderly, women were abused and they just kept quiet, not saying anything. Our children grew in this. They saw this abuse of their mothers. Now, I think, as the children have said, we should now give them platform to say whatever they want to say to correct the situation. And you too, I don't think you are still those us, you are not us who used to keep quiet and you know, just taking this in your heart, feeling bad, not saying anything, you know, it depressed us, really. This is no time for depression. This is no time for abuse. This is the time to correct what was wrong, what we as parents were doing. We used to go to the traditional councils, to Inkosi, to air our view, but we were not listened to because our husbands or men were too respected to can allow women to say whatever they want to say. So the little girls are doing it now. They are telling us, they are blaming us. One of them said, I am a child. I cannot come and correct what our parents did not do correctly. So with these words, I think we are at it. Things will be well. We are looking at them as our future wives who will be raising their children maybe the correct way, with open minds, vocal, and all that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mem Fumadi. Thank you. Thank you for such wise words. Menkosikazi Mhlauli, are you here, me?
Yes,
Me
Princess.
Nkosikazi Yes, how are you, me? How are
Thank
you?
you. I'm fine, Makosazana. And how are you?
We are well. We are honored to have you. And I'm also going to be requesting you to share a leaf from your book. This journey that you have traveled, we are where we want to tap into, and they always say in Africa, there's this bird called Sankofa. Look back to go fetch that which you have missed so as to continue forward. So that is why now we would like to tap into your wisdom. And what I have noticed is that there isn't much awareness about this child pornography. And will you bring that awareness to our children, to ourselves, as to what this is and what can be done to really deal with such? And what do you think, even at your level, would be the punishment for the perpetrators of child pornography?
Thank you, Princess. Greetings to everybody here, Mahosradi, Moroka, and other parents here, the princesses, the organizers, and the children.
All right. Basele nawe, mama. Akekho omunye ongabathatha.
I think Obama, it's not mine. It's another gadget.
Oh, all right.
Yes, another gadget.
Sorry.
Thank you, Princess. As I always congratulate you as princesses of taking this platform on gender-based violence. As you know that people are always asking, Amakos, what are you doing concerning gender-based violence? What you are doing now is just is giving answers to those questions. When you may not understand what you are doing or how important it is when you are leading on gender on these discussions like this. And the children are talking. I'm just coming out of another discussion by social development. Children were raising critical issues, a lot of issues, but I want to talk about them. But there's issues like tax violence, gender-based violence, gangsters, water shortages, a lot of issues which were raised by children. Today it was group age 12. So we are here today listening to the children, and I've been listening and listening and listening. Let me first apologize to the children on what is happening to them. Now they are busy trying to fix what's supposed to be fixed by us before. Now they are trying to do what is supposed to be done by us as parents. Mm-hmm. As a house of traditional leaders, as Bukos, as general, we have agreed that let's first deal with these harmful cultural practices. Mm-hmm. How? We said each province must identify those cultural practices which are said to be harmful to women and children. We have agreed on that one. We have got committees on gender-based violence in all houses that must deal with those issues we are talking about. When I'm talking about gender-based violence, including issues of children. We have also participated, in fact, launched the men's parliament and boys' assemblies, but provincially, but we have agreed that those structures must be launched in all traditional councils. That is 882 traditional councils. Each traditional council will have a men's parliament and a boys' assembly, because we wanted to deal with these issues at a root level. Because when we are not talking to the boys, the issues of patriarchy, they will remain there, because the roots of what is happening here, it is patriarchy. As we Umam Rock has indicated, also as Abomne from traditional leadership, we are experiencing the same. Stella knows that I got married to arranged marriage. Stella knows exactly. But man, at least I was consulted. She knows exactly, Stella. They were still staying with Auntie Wabo. And then Africa Makosa as the paid at she knows exactly.
I remember, ma.
Yes. So this but as we are talking about pornography, when it comes to pornography, you know, these things, you don't even want to talk much about it, because to us, when we are talking about issues of sex and other things, it's a taboo to us, you see. But what is key is for us to open platforms and get people who can talk on those issues. For instance, when we're talking about issues of HIV and AIDS and other issues, we got partners who are able to discuss, to talk about these issues. When you are talking about how to use a condom, for instance, now as Mama Unkos, I can't stand there, condom. But I get partners to talk about these issues to the communities. So the issues of pornography, really, we need to prioritize these things. It's like human trafficking. Those issues we may not feel comfortable to discuss as communities. We need to try by all means to find a way of discussing them. But I'm sure through these structures and also allowing children to speak, listening to children, because if we don't listen to children, and other children were saying, Tina, as mothers, sikhuphela stress sethu kubo. They were saying to minister today, you see, this is affecting children. The child may not even report to you because you are always stressful. You don't want to listen to him or to her, whereas the child is being abused on the other side. So as traditional leaders, we need to we are going to prioritize it this meeting asked us to prioritize the child pornography as one of our program to deal with. So if it is going to be one of the resolutions from this table, from this meeting, we are going to take it forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I like it when you apologize to our children, and coming from you, it is very powerful. It is so profound. Thank you so much. And I put a spanner there purposely, Mama, to really put you on the spot, because these are the times where we need to be uncomfortable and be okay with being uncomfortable, and speak to our children and hear them and see their tears, and even all of us as women, and be okay and open up our arms to say, here is my breast, my chest, where you can lie and cry instead of looking the other way. And thank you very much for handling that. And we would like to see more. We would like to be, all of us, let us be uncomfortable and be okay with holding such conversations. I think the time is now that we need to really face them with that courage. And thank you very much to Mema Moroka, and thank you very much to you. And as we move along, we will also one of our elders, Meramputi.
Dumelang.
How are you, ma'am?
I'm very well, thank you. And how are you, ma'am?
That is great. Very, very well. It is an honor to have you. How wonderful. And I know that your hand is up. You will then let us know why your hand is up. But before you give us what you wanted to say, I am aware the little bird has told me that you are also a member of parliament. So now it makes me to be excited. You just know that there is a list and 10 questions that I would have to you. But let's start here. what is the program that supports all these efforts that we are doing as the princesses, as the members of the society, as the NGOs, as the NPOs? What does Parliament have? What do you have for us? I'm going to say to you, because you are representing and you are now the voice. What are the programs that are supporting these efforts to make sure that our efforts are magnified, that we are able to reach to the far-flung areas of our rural? One of the panelists, one of the young girls said, so that if these programs can be able to reach to the rural, and I also advocate for that. Please help us, ma'am.
Dumelang, and good afternoon and good evening, good morning. I could hear that there are those who are from the US and that. It's a Princess Etepi and all the royal groups. I really want to say thank you very much for coming with such important topic in our society. And really, thank you so much even to Mayor Princess Khabo Moroka. I'm also from the Tolos. I'm also the Princess of Barolong from Rato Northwest. However, I think, most of the people there are children, they are kids, and I didn't even hear any child that was above 18 years. And I'm so excited that they are so knowledgeable about, issues of the gender-based violence, and being so knowledgeable about the issues of gender-based violence. And we really want to thank their parents, because they say that, and besides that, I've got a here. I'm from Mangwana Global. Mangwana means the mother. That is the reason why I'm having that organization, Mangwana, you can see, and also from the World Women Leading Change, because it is us mothers that should instill proper values to our kids. And there is I know in Parliament, there is the Women Caucus, the multi-party Women Caucus, that speaks about these issues of gender-based violence. But a gender-based violence, it doesn't start whilst the child is already 12 or 13 years. The gender-based violence, it starts when the inception, when the child is being conceived between the father and the mother of that child. And it is very, very important that we should, instill the values of weight you can be able to indulge into kind of things. But you can see the children that are here tonight. This afternoon, they are leaders.
I think your the network is...
Listen, you can hear that informed and continuously inform them, show kindness for a child or a girl child. And our children can be able to understand. Okay, can you hear now? I want to say, my children, you must always communicate with mama, no secret with malome. Communicate with granny, communicate with auntie. And even this gender-based violence, it is more in the traditional royal families also. It's been really being perpetuated, and it is so subtle that you cannot even see. But Mama, Princess Habu, and all the dignitaries that are there, please hold our kids with your hands, talk to them, and inform them at home, in the society, in the churches, in the groups as you did. But what is important, because the role of Parliament is to ensure that there are acts. There should be really hush kind of policies to the perpetrators. I'm saying that there should be a register, a national register where these perpetrators are being reported and are being known. And I'm saying never, ever, ever trust any person, the teacher, because sometimes they are abusers. And gender-based violence, it's not physically, it can be also emotionally. And we should also look at the issues of racism. Racism also, it is also a factor here, because it also abuses our children emotionally and psychosocially. It is very, very important. Our parents, I still remember when we knew there was a song that I am young, gifted, and black. Let's instill that kind of, teaching our children to be proud of what they are. Being black, having that kind of hair, and being gifted, it doesn't matter what kind of English you speak, because even themselves, they don't speak that kind of English the way they can speak your own language. That's a Xhosa, says Zulu, says Tswana, Sintebele. So let's make our children to be more, bold, courageous, and to be assertive. My plea, it goes to my children. You are so gifted. You are so powerful. I was at your age, I didn't know what is pornography. I didn't know about such things. But listen to your mummies. I even like in the Proverbs, I like referring in the Bible. They say that, my children, listen to your parents. Do not incline to your own understanding. It's very, very important, always, so that if you want to be like these mummies that are in this platform today, it's about listening, it's about respect, it's about, consulting with them and not being rude, because that, hormones also changes in life. When you grow up, there are this hormonal change, but listen, and then you consult with your parents, respect them, value them, and everything will be right to you. Amen. Amen. You are such beautiful, gifted young kids. Thank you. So pretty, so beautiful, so handsome. Oh, Justice. Just look at Justice, how handsome he is. Yeah. Justice, he looks so handsome. Or Arabetsu, she looks so pretty. Busi, they're so beautiful. Vanessa, Fatima, I know, man. These girls, that is wonderful. It's because your parents love you. They don't abuse you. And you listen to them, and you love them, and you appreciate them. Thank you so much. Other things, they are not important, but small little things, they matter most in life. I am Mangwana Tshwaratipa Bogale, Mangwana Global. I'm the mother that instilling change. I'm the mother who loves kids and the mother who loves life. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now, spoken like in Khonukanit, you know, when you spoil the children now, our children, the grandchildren, telling them that they're so beautiful. Even when we are trying to rebuke them, they run to you and you still just shushuzela them and let them go. Thank you so much. You reminded me of those days. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mangwana. And indeed, the molder of the well-rounded global citizen. That is what we are doing here. Let us move right along after hearing such words of wisdom. Ooh, my word, my word. This day, it's as if it shouldn't be ending. We are nearing the ending. Vanessa from Nigeria has now finally joined us. Vanessa, we are going to have you so that we can hear from you as well. Vanessa? Vanessa.
Right. I'm here. Good evening. It's evening here.
Good evening. It is.
Yes,
it is evening. Yes, I'm in South Africa, by the way. So it is evening as well. We do have Pakistan. We do have US. And did you write well?
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Great, great. We are speaking about gender-based violence. You probably have seen the brief. Sorry that you missed our keynote speaking and the interactions that have been going on. But however, though, we know that you also have something to say, so much to say. Tell us, as we have spoken, so much has been addressed. Do you think these conversations around gender-based violence, they take place in our households with our parents, in your view?
All right. With our parents, of course, it does take place in the household. Am I properly heard?
Yes, yes, yes. We can hear you very clearly.
All right. So this takes place in the household, but most times it's not with the parents. It might even be with the grandparents. Without the parents' consent, it might be with the grandparents' consent. All right. Recently, I've watched various videos and I saw these various children. The very current one was about a girl who was sexually harassed. She was molested by a man, although her grandmother she had the consent. She knew about that. So it takes place in the household. It usually does that.
But do you think we feel courageous enough as children, as children, how do I put it, to have this conversation, to say, this is what my uncle has done to me, and therefore, if you, my mother or my grandmother, you are not doing anything, I'm going to go to the police?
Oh no, it doesn't happen here in Nigeria. It doesn't. You going to the police doesn't just happen here. Most times, these children have to keep these things to themselves, because most of these children do fear their parents. You know, in the Nigerian culture, the very first thing we have to know is to fear our parents. And this fear has already resulted in children being drifted. They don't usually have this mutual relationship with their parents. So they can't easily talk to their parents. Whatever happens to them, they keep it to themselves. They do not want to tell their parents. And it's usually very hard for their parents to realize, as when they are back, like some children, when they go to school, they are being molested, they are being harassed, but they don't talk. And their parents are left in the darkness. They do not know whatever that is going on. And they don't have that courage. Usually, as I've said before, it's the fear. Can you talk to your mom? Can you talk to your dad? That's the very first thing we have to check before. Not the girls, yes. First, probably we can talk to our mom, but the dad in the Nigerian culture is usually very, very hard to talk to him. And this is going to be really, really bad for the boys, as they can't talk to their father. They have to keep everything to themselves. Even the girls that are with strict parents, how can they say, Mom, this has happened to me, Dad, this happened to me? They can't. And so it's left They don't tell their parents and everything. They are being molested, they are being harassed, and their parents are left in the darkness.
Well put, well put. Now we know, Vanessa, that in West Africa, or some countries in West Africa, there's this, we call it child sexual mutilation. Do you know that practice? Have you heard of that practice?
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think about that? Because really it is still touching and trampling upon the rights of the children, of the young girls as well. It affects our young girls. We also know that there has been this prevalence of abduction of girls in Nigeria. What do you think our government can do, and our community members, even to our culture, all our elders, the stakeholders? What do you think they can do to really deal with that issue, to eliminate it? We are talking about elimination here.
All right. The cultural practice, it's usually very, very hard to change a cultural practice, as most West African countries experience that they have that as their cultural practice. But now what can the society do? Since these elders, our forefathers have started this, our ancestors did this, then we should carry on with what they've done. They don't think, all right, this is how the society moves, and this, let's change it. So the thing is, with the ones that are learned in it, the people learned in the society, left for them to say they should come together, they should make up organizations. You know, it was not that hard. It's not that hard for things to be ended, but it's the strategy that should be taken is what's really, really hard. Now, when these educated ones, when these ones that feel, wow, this tradition should not go on, these ones that feel this has overtaken it has taken, it has happened, and that we do not want it again. Fine, they can come together, they'll form an organization. It's not hard once they are formed an organization. It draws the international agencies, and they come. They find it very easy to then end it. And it's also the government. Can they abolish this? Yes, the government, it might be enshrined in the constitution that this should not be done. But even though it's not done, even though the constitution has said it shouldn't be done, then the still practice. Why? Because here, let me focus here in Nigeria, most of them, once it happens, they are not being punished. So if the government can say, fine, if you should try this to a girl child, you'll be punished, and the punishment will be too severe, then it will happen. And also, if they should enlighten their parents, enlighten them. Look, it's left for the parents to decide, all right, fine, my daughter is going to go out. She go out, yes. But now there will be this gender mutilation. But if the parent decides, if the mom decides, fine, my daughter is not going to go there, then the daughter is not going to have anything to do with it. So the government ways to abolish them by setting up laws, strict laws, not laws that passed by people who do it, they are not punished. They set strict laws that will make them punished when it happens. And also their parents should be courageous enough to say, no, my daughter can't do that. It's risky, it's dangerous. Once they gather to call, it starts from the dad, like to say, fine, my daughter will be involved in this. It starts from there. Various families start saying it won't be done like that. And then they start changing. And as organizations come up with saying like this one that this should not be done. Indeed, the whole world will hear about it. Other ways will be found, which should be ended.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Powerful, powerful, powerful. You know, you have covered all the other minutes that you missed, and now you have really covered it all. And we wish to continue being involved with you. And then we wish you, if you could please also try and start these programs, and you'll have our support, and it is just collaborating. Thank you so much, Vanessa. Don't go away. In the meantime, Mama Meramputi has spoken about teach the child the way to go, or even has quoted from the Holy Book. I saw that we have Pastor Esther. Are you here? Pastor Esther. Pastor Esther. All right. I was going to, is May Yvonne Chaka here? The Princess of Africa. May Yvonne? Right. I was going to be asking Pastor Esther a question, and now that they are not here, is there anything that I missed so that we can hear from you all? Any other child who has just joined us? Any honorable young one? Any honorable? Not. Okay, we are nearing the finishing of our program, good people. It has been so hot. It has been so engaging. It has been exactly what we expected and more, actually. And I see we have Her Royal Highness Princess Mahlangu. Can I have you, Princess Mahlangu? Can I also just pick your brain a bit? Princess Mahlangu? Princess Mahlangu? Princess Zodwa?
I am here.
You are here. Thank you so much.
Yes.
How are you, ma'am? How are you, Nkosazana?
I am fine, thank you. I would like to greet everybody, our youngsters, gentlemen and ladies, and bokubukhosi obukhona ngaphakathi kule ndawo. I would like to say good evening.
Good evening, siyathokoza, Nkosazana. Now, there are NGOs that are looking after the rights of children and of women. Perhaps just to say there's United Nations, there is UNICEF and all that. What do you think they should be doing more to help with the scourge of gender-based violence in our continent?
Thank you very much, Princess Tsipi. I always believe that in awareness, there is greatness, because as we could hear, a lot of our youth are saying that the parents should be listening. We should be listening, but we would listen more if the children's organization bring out the word, you know, like awareness of what gender-based violence is, how it can occur. Because we remember that when we look at abuse, for example, in one of the episodes on Skim Sam, I do watch that, by the way, a gentleman didn't feel like he was abusing a lady because he was actually giving him good postures, like hey, you know, things like that. Your body looks nice, but the girl was uncomfortable, and it looked like it's normal. That's what boys do. So we need to put this gestures, these terms to the open, so that every child can know. I would say that for our audience mostly is our children that have computers and all that. But it's time now that we take gender-based violences to the rural areas more. As our keynote speaker said, we need to go and penetrate rural areas, and we should use organizations like the ones that stand for children's rights. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That is correct. That is correct. Tate Loiso, are you here? We just would like to hear from a different voice and a voice of man, so that we don't speak about you, we speak now with you. Tate Loiso? Tate Loiso? Prince Andrew, are you here? Prince Andrew?
Of course,
Prince
I'm
Andrew.
here. Yes.
Right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. We have Prince Andrew. We are crossing the Atlantic once again. What do you think? We were created men and women, both genders, having the same responsibilities. None has been given lesser than the other. And now we are here having this pandemic of gender-based violence. What do you think can be, I would like to say, what goes wrong in our perpetrators on the other side of men in a nice family that it's just the opinion. I'm not saying, you can speak from what you've seen, taking that to one of our elders as well. What do you think really goes wrong that a man will go that far within his own family that he chose?
Well, in the first place, I have to say that I've been a victim of gender-based violence myself. So it's not just the women who are the ones that are victims in certain circumstances. And I have to say, as one of the children said earlier, we have to also look at the causes and conditions. When you say that during this pandemic, gender-based violence has increased, the circumstances that are affecting the mental health of the people are very much at cause as well. I'd like to also answer a question that you haven't asked, which earlier I heard you said, well, what can governments do? What can nonprofits do? I think it's critically important that we all admit the fact that, as you say, we're all equal, but we have to address human rights, because the gender-based violence would not happen, I believe, if there were more respect for human rights at the cause of all of what we're doing. So I think we have to begin as a society to teach the value of human rights of everyone to begin with. And that supersedes sometimes traditional values that have overlooked human rights of women as well as men. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, so well put. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And Dr. Loyiso, are you back? Thank you so much, Prince Andrew. Dr. Loyiso, are you back?
Hello, can you hear me, guys? Hello.
Yes, now we can hear you. Now we can hear you. Thank you very much, and good evening to you.
Good evening, everybody. Good day to everybody according to your time zones. I've been listening to everything that. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Hello, sir. I just want to have one question for you. Thank you. In just 2 minutes. In just 2 minutes. What can the society do? What can the society do to assert the natural state of a man as God created a man, as our Ubuntu values, as the structure has always, we have seen a man revering our mothers, even if he was upset. We have seen them going away by Enkomen to make sure that they diffuse that anger, but they never raised a hand to our mothers or our gogos. So what do you think went wrong, and what can we do to reassert and restore that dignity of a man so that we don't deal with this pandemic? Thank you, sir. 2 minutes.
All right. The very first step is the step that we are all doing right now, entering into dialogue and defining what GBV is. Understanding that it is male, it is female who are victims in this whole situation. Once we get that dialogue going, we should then be able to understand further. Remember, not only the perpetrators of it need to understand what it is, the victims as well need to understand that they are victims and what makes them victims. Empower them so that they can speak further and protect themselves. Traditionally, we've always had institutions that inform boys, inform girls on how to become women, boys on how to become men. We should really speak up and have those institutions revisited, reviewed, brought back, not just to be traditional, from a traditional council space, but take those traditions and bring them into the Western culture so that we all understand we are part of the global nation. We are a global village. So let us act like the village. Remember, we have a saying in the African languages and culture that it takes a village to raise a child. So let us be that village to our children. Thank you very much.
Let us be that village to our children, to women, and to both children, both genders, both the boy child and the girl child. And let us be that village to the woman and the men as well. Thank you, so well put. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been invigorating. This has been such a wonderful evening. And thank you for staying with us. We are going to be going right along. And I would like to say thank you to my panelists. Thank you for such very, very, very charging discussions. And they did not hold any punches. And I would like to encourage you, my beautiful, beautiful girls and boys, to say continue as such. This platform was to empower you, to give your voice, to create a space at the table for you to be heard as well. You are representing your regions, you are representing your countries, you are representing yourselves as well. So today you really have been a pioneer to some, and some they are used to such platforms, but I know every platform takes its own shape and its own dynamics, and we never say we're used to it, but you have done so very well. I have learned so much. I do know that, you know what, my space in doing this moderating is very, 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 very minimal. I can just see next month Princess Khabu kicking me out and bringing in Vanessa, bringing in any other, bringing in any of you now to do this job that I've been asked to do. So as we move along, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go on with our program. We are really at the end, where we are going to be hearing from Princess, Her Royal Highness Princess Sitela Sikau II, with a vote of thanks and also a way forward. Nkosazana, are you here? Are you here, Nkosazana?
Hello, Princess. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, I must say, asking for your bio. So I wanted to put in Tule as we should, with all the protocols.
In my language. I think indeed we should like move on.
Yes, Princess Stella is one of the founders of the Princess Network, South African Royal Princess Network. She's our leader, she's our guide, she is everything that we need, and she is very kindly leading us, helping us, and advising us as we move on this journey. Thank you very much for such a thought. Thank you very much for this vision that has brought now the globe together. I hope you can see how this baby has grown. And thank you so much, Ngos.
Thanks. Greetings, everyone. All protocol observed. First and foremost, I would like to thank our dynamic and beautiful host, Princess Tsepi, who's done a very good job in hosting this session. On behalf of the South African Royal Princess Network, I would like to express our gratitude to all the esteemed panelists and participants. Today, we had an opportunity to hear the views of children from various parts of the world. And this will surely contribute to our future engagements on gender-based violence. The participation of children on issues affecting them is very much important. Their voices must be heard, especially with the rise on reported cases of child abuse, of gender-based violence in relation to children, estimated at up to 1 billion children aged between 2 and 17 years, having experienced physical, sexual, or emotional violence or neglect. This is worrisome, this is alarming, this is shocking. Violence imposed on children has lifelong negative impact on their health and their general well-being, including physical challenges and mental illness. It may also lead to children exposed to this violence also becoming perpetrators, as they may perceive this as normal. They may not know how to love, receive and appreciate love, as all they have been exposed to is fear and violence. Children must not be robbed of their youth to enjoy being children, to be loved, nurtured, given opportunities, supported to be the best they can ever be. They have to be protected and be raised in safe families and communities where their rights are respected and protected. As mentioned earlier, in African culture, there is a say, it takes a village to raise a child. Children must feel content knowing that in the village, in their societies, their rights are protected. They are loved and nurtured. They are safe. It is a responsibility of everyone to alert on abuse in this regard. The youth of today are our future, future adults, future members of societies, future leaders. It is important to instill in them the right values, empower them, and not violate or abuse them. A lot of issues have been raised both by panelists and participants. We shall take all the inputs and reflect to determine the way forward. Issues of awareness, of advocacy, of inclusive participation of children in relation to gender-based violence are important. We are going to continue with the webinars, conversations with children and youth as platforms to advocate for and create awareness whilst looking for solutions to this pandemic. Advocating for safety and secured environments, including in the rural areas where there are hardly any police stations. Improvement of laws to protect the rights of children, support systems for victims, as well as preventative measures to contain child abuse are important. We are going to reflect on all of these to determine the way forward. Once again, I would like to thank everyone who participated.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Princess Stella Sigao II. Very well put. And also, would you like to tell us the upcoming one, please, ma'am? The upcoming webinar.
The next webinar will take place on the 4th of August. It will be in partnership with Diplomatic Society. That is South African Royal Princess Network in partnership with the Diplomatic Society. It will be in commemoration of our Women's Month, and it will also focus on gender-based violence. So it will take place at 2:30 to 4:30 on the 4th of August. So this is a continuation of our advocacy and awareness program on GBV.
Thanks so much. Thank you so much. And we would like to invite you all and even all your other networks as well. And let us continue this work. We hold these webinars just about as part of our activities, monthly activities right through. And you will be hearing more. If you can follow us on our social media, we are on Facebook under South African Royal Princess Network. And that's where you will find us, follow us, like us, so that you are updated with our activities, with our campaigns, with our webinars. We value your presence. Thank you to each and every one of you. You have been wonderful. You made this day to be a success. Without you, I don't know where we would have gone or what was going to happen. Allow me to thank all our sponsors that have allowed us to have this platform, AHIABGA Foundation, and even through Andrew Networks. He's always so generous, opening arms to all the networks that he has to tap into their resources. They have allowed us to have this platform. We would like to also thank the Women Leading Change. We would like by also bringing in the powerful speakers and collaborating in this work, for joining forces, for joining hands. Each and every one of you who are here, we know it's because you are passionate about this topic. You want something to happen. You want to see the change. You want not to be speaking about this increase of the high rate or the high rate of women abuse or gender-based violence. You are all touched. Today, our lives have been changed. We are better than few hours ago. We are better than yesterday. To all my panelists, my honorable children, you know what? The sky is not even the limit. Go further and further. Continue being such powerful minds. Continue having this voice, and let your voice continue increasing. To each and everyone who have been here, you are powerful, you are valued, you are seen, you are heard, and much more than that. From myself, Princess Tepi, of the Royal Batlokoa Nation from South Africa, and also on behalf of my team, my A-team of the South African Royal Princess Network, it is adios. Thank you very much for being such good audience, such honor, with such poise, with such peacefulness. Thank you so much from all corners of the globe where you are. A good night. Adios.
Thank you, Princess.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you, princesses. Thank you, gentlemen. Bye.
Thank you. Follow on the Facebook. Just know that you are trending. You are trending on Facebook. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye, my honorable speaker. Let's do it again.
Finito.
Click. Let's have our videos on, and click and clap hands. Let's have our videos on. I forgot to take a picture. Let's have the videos on, please. Let's have the videos on. I want a picture. Smile.
I was high-tech. I was high-tech.
That was high-tech.
Dog, you got 6 times to know who's there.
I see you, Skodwa. Take the shot. Thank you.
It was beautiful. To the point. Yeah.
Okay, Princess Seppi, we're gonna wind it up. I love you all.
We love you. Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.